答えは常に塔の上にある。
間に合ったアリーナに売店ぐらいあるよな。
After school.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Webtoon section of the podcast here. Like we said on the main episode, an update on the Twitter. The file I was working on got corrupted, so that's my fault on my end. We'll make sure that's not going to happen again. So we're just going to push through just the usual stuff here, and today we're going to be going through Hardcore Leveling Warrior, chapters 22 to 35. We're starting to get into the meat of things. We're getting ready for this tournament arc here. I'm pretty sure Gerry said it earlier when we were on Discord that it's got some Tower vibes coming in here with the way the games are, which, that makes sense. Tower kind of has that kind of RPG element to it, right?
I only said that because I don't like exposition.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot. Well, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's
a good amount, though.
Lot.
Like, when they started explaining game rules, I'm like, I don't really care. Just, you guys play the game, I'll figure out the rules. Or just make up the rules. Whatever.
I feel like there was only really one part that was super heavy with rules, and that was just explaining, the forest part. But other than that, I mean, it was just pretty self-explanatory. I mean, like, to me, it just reminded me of, like, if you're familiar with Yu Yu Hakusho, there was like a part where they have to go through the forest, where he's trying to become the apprentice for Genkai. Hell yeah, man, that's exactly what this is, bro. Brings back memories.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it was kind of like Tower with the dice game that Hardcore Leveling Warrior had to play. I was like, oh, this is just as confusing as some of those games in Tower.
Yep.
See, and like, it's crazy, like, it's over-explained, and then when we get to the game, I'm like, they could have just had it played out, and I could have got it from there.
Yeah, honestly.
But I will say, I'm liking Hardcore Leveling Warrior a lot more than I thought I would. He's still kind of an asshole character, but just seeing his skills alone, I think, is more for me like, oh, actually, yeah, he is actually a cool character when you break it down. He's just in a shitty situation, and that's why he's always like an asshole. But no, like all the stuff he was doing when he was fighting, in this preliminary round, that stuff was pretty cool. And also the reveal that, like, yeah, magic doesn't really work on me like that, guys.
Yeah, that's a crazy immunity to have. Turns out he just has a really high resistance. He can still get hurt, as we saw with the fight with Light.
What was it? There was the gag where he got hit in the face. He's like, it hurts more on the face.
No, yeah, that guy.
That's the he was part of the guild, who is, I guess, Dark's, like, one of Dark's brothers or relatives.
Yeah, right? I think he called him Light, but I don't know. I forgot what his name was actually.
I think it was like Lucas.
Yeah, his in-game character's name is Light, and his name is Lucas Han. And his relation to Dark is he is his older cousin, but he thinks of him as his, like, older brother.
So this is like Tower.
Yeah.
at least with that family, right?
At least with Giga.
Yeah, because there's so many of them. It's crazy. Yeah, but I was liking most of this through and through. We're like diving into the more fantasy stuff when we're getting all the armor and stuff for Sora, and then we get that weird sword that she eventually gets, which is like what is it called? An ego sword.
It levels up with your character as you level up. That's pretty cool. I could see why a lot of people were like, I need that sword. Sword grows with you as you grow as a character yourself, and most of them are pretty. They seem pretty high level too, so it'd be pretty cool to see what the sword would look like with them. I'm not gonna lie, but I want to see what it's gonna look like with Sora.
We did get that look of the NPC that Dark captured, and he grew because Dark's level got higher, so now he looks like a little bit older than he was because he was like an infant, right?
So is that green? Is that green slime also an ego slime? The slime chick?
No, she's not an eco slime. She's just a character. She's a slime
cool.
girl. But so far, I don't know if you noticed, but anything that has like an eye is like an eco sword. So the only other eco sword that we saw so far, I'm not going to say is the only one, but one of the ones that I noticed was Master Swordsman, Hardcore Leveling Warrior's old friend, the old guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has an eco sword.
Oh, that's right, huh?
I was hoping to see more of that guy, but, he was the good character to introduce this new threat that might be involved with Leveling Warrior's past.
And not everybody hated Hardcore Leveling Warrior.
Yeah, and he was actually rooting for him. He's like, oh, look at this guy. He's got his own party. Good for him, man. Finally. Yeah, that was cool. I was hoping we could get more of him, but yeah, just seeing him being attacked by this bug, this hack that's coming into the game who looks like Hardcore Leveling Warrior. I was like, oh, we're doing this arc for this character. Okay. That's going to be interesting because we're going to get, we'll probably get more of his past, and it'd be cool if we could get like a flashback arc of when he was still climbing the ranks and just seeing what type of different person he was, and maybe that's where we get the explanation of why he'd rather be alone than form a party. And this imposter could probably be one of the reasons.
Maybe he's like I have a lot of speculation on what he might be.
He's a ghost in the data.
Fucking for real. He's that bug that's self-analyzing or self-regulating.
Yeah.
Some kind of AI, whatever, dude.
Did you ever watch the Doc Hack show that was on Adult Swim?
Little by little, but that was during horny times, so I didn't really care what was happening.
It was like the really boring one that didn't have any fighting in it.
Yeah, no, I never mind.
But it was like, it's like kind of similar to what's going on right now. That's what I would tell you. But yeah, it gives you those vibes of like Dark Avatar type shit. Like there's like a character going between like the boundary of the game and then the boundary of like the real world and stuff like that.
Oh, Code Lyoko, bro.
Dude, Code Lyoko.
That's what's
took
going
the words
on.
right out of my mouth, my guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see what goes on there, because to my surprise, leading up to this stuff, we got a look at the real world and what's going on, because as this imposter is killing people, he's actually deleting characters, and we see like there's this whole thing going on at the Giga company, and like, hey, what's going on? Our characters are fucked. What are you gonna do about it? It's like, oh, I wasn't expecting to see any of that, at least for a good while.
To an extent, it's gonna progressively take off, and I think for the most part, it has a steady pace. It doesn't get like too crazy, too fast, or anything like that. I feel like there's gonna be some points where like things balance out. Now that the both of you have said it, honestly, the best way that I can put it, it really is like Tower. Like there are just gonna be moments where things just balance out, and then like of course like time skips and stuff like that.
I can kind of appreciate this one too, because this manhwa, because like I feel like with Tower, it seems like there's always a bigger fish. But on this one, there's like one set goal, which is for him basically to pay his shit back, his debt back, and all his side quests are just whatever happens along the way.
Yeah, like he's making sure he's sticking with Dark, because Dark's got all the money, and he's like, I need, at least for now, true. Well, because yeah, I think he used almost all of his money on that one skill when they were fighting. Was it in the dungeon? Or it was against somebody, and he used like a super huge amount of money to use it. Yeah, so he's running on. I mean, he's still got money, but eventually, yeah, it's gonna run out, and we'll see what happens from there. I thought the games were fine. It was cool to get a little roundabout of just to see what other characters can do in the game. My surprise, we saw Pac-Man and what was her name, Goldie and Oz. They also showed back up, and I thought that was nice. We can get recurring characters in this manhwa.
What did you think about Bamboo Man? He was the berserker dude. He's the red player.
Oh, but he calmed down?
Oh, that was
he went to rehab?
Him?
That's him. Yeah.
Fucking cool. I thought so, dude. Yeah,
because I was trying
like
to think,
him.
like, he looked familiar.
He's fucking Bakugo-looking motherfucker, dude.
That's funny, man.
Bakugo looking.
Fuck, bro. Like, he's still really angry, just not as angry. I don't know if he eats people. I don't think he eats people anymore, though.
No, but he said he wanted to eat his head.
He would add their heads to his collection, right? Yeah. You know what? That was the tip.
So funny, dude.
But yeah, that was funny that he was teaming up with them. I was like, oh yeah, I guess the other guy's just gone, right? Because he lost all his stats and stuff, so he has to start over. Their original party team leader.
So remember what I mentioned to you last time? There's Kynes, and he basically tried to break the rules for the God of NPC, so his character got banned.
Oh, it got banned. Okay.
I think it was supposed to be temporary, but I just don't think that he ended up coming back. I don't remember, but I don't know if you noticed, but the hat doesn't talk anymore, and I kind of hated that.
Yeah, I just figured it just wasn't talking because they didn't want to, kind of thing. Because it sort of has I think it's Goldie, right? That's the hat's name.
No, Goldie is the girl.
Well, I figured, like, this guy, he's an asshole. I don't, like, our new party leader's an asshole. I don't want to talk to him. And I'll say, like, it's refreshing to see, like, some of the humor that's in here. I guess you would say it's a very Webtoon-like kind of humor. Or like they get the very end of this preliminary round, it's like, oh yeah, God's over there, and you know, it does this the switch of like, well, the first guy we saw who looks like God wasn't actually God.
I know, fucking for real.
Yeah, but they're all just having a party and there's a drinking contest and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Honestly, that did get me the first time too when I read through that. You know, like just watching that whole scene again. I have to say, I think it's cool that they had like the whole barrel drinking contest.
Yeah,
And that it ended up coming down between Goldie and that robot.
Hell yeah, Goldie can hold her liquor.
To the listeners out there, Goldie is a very scrawny little girl. Yeah, and she's drinking like barrels that are bigger than her.
Yeah, that stuff's always fun. You know, one thing that's cool about this is the way they could kind of give personality to each character. Like with Dark, the way he uses his attacks and like he summons the golems and skeletons. I was like, yeah, that kind of childlike art style, it fits his character so much, right? Because he's still young and inexperienced kind of thing. So it fits really well with him. Versus like all the other like serious attacks that we see that pop up.
I can't wait to see what that sword. I went back to Sora, but I can't wait to see what the eagle sword is going to look like.
Yeah, I thought it was going to change appearances when it leveled up.
For the most part, I think it's just too early to tell.
Yeah.
I think you just have to...
That's true.
You know, hang in there for a little bit more. But the eagle sword is cool. I think it was a really great addition to the series. Just making like a weapon that has a mind of its own. You know, I think that's always super cool.
Mm-hmm. Ignition weapons, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was also
yeah,
my mindset,
ignition
dude.
Weapons. Yep.
Also, I think it just also makes sure that, you know, like physical class characters, like people who use swords, they stand out on like even playing fields. Because like some of the magic that they have in the series is like incredibly OP. You know, like you're just gonna have to kind of have something up your sleeve. I just feel like it's kind of evening things out a little bit on the playing field there.
Well, especially with the guild people, right, using that holy light stuff, like that was pretty OP.
Yeah, that shit is OP. Holy light itself already, it's like too much. No, it's alright, but it's like the fact that he has that dark blast, whatever the fuck that was too. He had up his sleeve. Like these guys are fucking, they're no joke. They really are just people just sitting around playing video games all day.
Yeah, like we saw with some people talking, trying to make small talk. He's like, yeah, I'm unemployed. I've just been playing too much.
Another guy's like, yeah, I gotta go back. My girlfriend's gonna get mad at me.
It's like, you have a girlfriend? It's like, yeah, I haven't seen her in a few days.
The game must be pretty good then if you're just ignoring calls and shit.
They play this game in their sleep. I think for the most part, the story always makes it seem like they're there for months, you know, or like the entire story is always going to take place there. They just never make it important to remind you that it is cut up. I imagine that the author just kind of wants you to determine it yourself whenever you feel like there needs to be a break in between when they do things and when they're not doing things. Obviously, other than when they're fighting.
I think that was in the last episode or something. No, the last episode that's uploaded. They mentioned about the time dilation, right? Like 7 hours in game is 1 hour in real time when they're sleeping. So they do experience the game as if they've been there for days, which I think goes into what one of them said, the real world section, where the lady said sometimes it's hard to tell like which one's the real world and which one isn't.
Well, one other thing that I wanted to bring up was because of Bamboo Spearman, they made it a real possibility where you could be in the game for days. You know, you could just basically like, I don't really remember per se what he was doing to keep himself logged into the game.
Coma. It's got to be like a coma or something.
The only person so far that's in a coma is the grandpa, is the CEO. He's always logged into the game, but no, this guy is like just consciously like just knocking himself out or drugging himself.
Yeah, Hardcore Legend Warrior is fun. Don't lose your data or else you'll have to start over. Remember, gamers, always save your game before you turn it off.
This arc ended on a good cliffhanger with, it's like, hey, things are looking up, and then reality knocked on Leveling Warrior's door. It's like, hey, asshole, don't forget you're here. And he's like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here, dude.
For everyone else, it's always a whatever kind of scenario to just wake up and then go back to sleep or whatever. But for Hardcore Leveling Warrior being inside of his like fucking prison cell, you know, he's just so desperate to stay inside. But they do give him the drugs too. I remember that now when they're giving him the tuna crackers and stuff like that. They want him to stay in the game as long as possible. So I guess it works out in his favor being just drugged up all the time.
Yeah, other than that, I'm just looking forward to seeing what this tournament's going to be. Just mainly want to see just more combat Maybe some. Well, we probably won't get one-on-ones because there's gonna be some team stuff coming up next.
Some Mortal Kombat maybe.
Yeah, I hope it gets bloody, right? Because they don't really have to hold back because they're just in a game, and then they'll just log out, kind of thing.
It's just a game.
Well, you guys were right on the money about that part. You definitely take advantage of the fact that this is a game, and they like to get gruesome with this kind of shit.
Yeah, that guy started eating people, dude. That shit was wild.
And remember, in this game, you feel shit. You feel shit on a whole nother level.
Sorry, man. I think with that, let's dive into some of this craziness that's going into Tower of God with this chapter 507. Yeah, Bam's just kind of OP now. I was saying in the episode that got corrupted that, Arya's not really dead because, her arm was still intact. And the way she was talking, it looked like it was implying that she could just come back because there was enough time that she stalled.
She did come back, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that wasn't the case.
This fucking guy, Bam, bro.
And they didn't show it on Bam. We didn't get a look, but when she was coming back, her little watch that she uses vanished when her head was coming back. So I'm wondering if that's on Bam now, if he just took it.
Right, I remember being confused but mentioning something to you earlier about how he's like a well of traits, he just picks up all these different kinds of traits along the way that he goes. And we've definitely seen that, with the beast transformation as an example. They really try to make a big emphasis on that. Now I think that it's crossed the threshold that White wanted, and at the same time that Bam didn't even know that he needed. And I'm not trying to say that it was thanks to White that this happened. Something about this Black Shinsu, it's gonna be super far left field, bro, but I honestly think that has something to do with probably his dad's power or his mom's power. Straight swear, I'm legit hoping that power right there, that Black Shinsu's coming from his dad's side of the gene pool,
Well, we've seen it before, right?
I don't remember.
I remember seeing Black Shinsu before. I mean, I could be wrong.
He has his butterfly wings. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, he does have those too. Yeah. I could have sworn we've seen it before.
Wasn't when they was fighting Caliban, no? OP. Reverse Shinsu flow. So much it turned into a black hole. That shit is gnarly. It's like using physics on water vapor. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, they made it more of an emphasis here too, right? Because his transformation is at full power now, right? He's got the black horns, the wings are out. Before the fight, he had all those out, but the horns weren't black, right? They were the small translucent ones. Yeah, so now he's like, okay, now I'm back to full power, ready to wreck. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, especially with the line Bam said, right? Return back to where you're from. So maybe he's gonna be using his reverse flow and all that stuff to break this contract that White has.
Ooh, maybe he's gonna take that demon. He's gonna take White's demon.
Either that or separate them.
Well, I mean, he would take it for himself, thus separating it in the process. I think Bam has power of domination. This power to subjugate anything that could possibly come onto his will, something that he absorbs. He could take the demon. He can take Jihad's administrator that's inside of him. What if he can take Enryu? I just hope we get to see anything close with Enryu really soon. That's one of the characters that I've been really waiting to really make their way into the story for a while. I've only just seen a glimpse of them back on the floor of death, and I'm like, I need more.
Yeah, I wonder at what point we're gonna get those insane characters like Enryu. But yeah, pretty intense, man. And then we got a glimpse of what Kun was doing. I think it was just written to make it look like Kun got caught off guard, but knowing Kun, he probably didn't. He probably knew that mouse was there the whole time that attacked him. So we'll probably get that twist whenever we see that happen again. Maybe next chapter?
When I noticed that those lighthouses don't have any of the faces on them, that little trick that he learned from that dwarf that follows Dorsey, I was like, oh, that's probably not him.
That's a specific skill that takes a while to use, especially at Kun's level, so I don't think he could just use it all the time. Well, I don't know, because he has the ice powers now, right? I think that's the reason he could use it. Yeah, he learned it on the Hell Train, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the only time he could have learned it.
Yeah, I think that he had to learn it before they went off to the floor of death, if I remember. Oh yeah, because what's-his-face got hurt really early. That one kid, the genetic experiment kid.
Oh, Beta?
And he got put into that lighthouse for
Well, yeah, because
he's still
yeah, he's considered an item because of what they did to him. So he's just in Kuhn's inventory this whole time.
Actually, that's how he was able to do that.
Oh, that's right, because he had Beta.
Yeah, 'cause he had Beta.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
he's not. If Beta's not with him right now, I don't think he's able to do that. But I don't really remember where Beta is, honestly.
Because he doesn't want to use Beta, because if they bring Beta outside of the inventory, he'll be marked or something, right? Like it'll trigger something, because they're like, oh, hey, he's not supposed to be here. I think that was the case. Other than that, I'm excited to see what this fight's going to do, because it looks like White might have some trouble with Bam as he is now. And then we'll see like some more advanced stuff that White might know. But with that, man, we could hop into some viral hit. It's the like I said before, it got corrupted for this chapter 84. That man, gotta feel bad for Gil and fucking Hoban, dude, doing shit he's not supposed to be doing, or like has knowledge he's not supposed to know about, and just pissing off everybody.
The reader included.
Yeah, it sucks to see Gil get all sad, and then she does end up tearing up, and then here comes Hoban like, actually, I bought these shoes for you, because it's like, why are you wearing high heels? Like, you never wear high heels. And she's like, what the fuck? Why do you know my shoe size? And it's like, oh, because we're, I mean, he doesn't say it in the chapter, right? He was like, oh, but we're friends. We're besties. Because obviously he doesn't think of her in any way like that. So, of course, it's one of those tropes, right, that they had to give Hoban just for this moment.
Being a fucking idiot.
Yes. Yeah, I hope whatever happens in the next chapter isn't too dumb on well, of course, Bomi's end. That's going to be something to see, man. But yeah, I really don't have much else to say about that this one chapter. The humor was good and all that as usual.
Yeah, there's nothing really going on. It's just more in depth on how ignorant Hoban is.
Yeah.
It really cements Gael's feelings right there.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see her. It solidifies what type of character she is and her morals, right? Where she was like, "Oh, I'll just buy something that will make Bomi hate Hoban, right? Just give her a shitty outfit." She's like, "But I'm not that much of an asshole. I can't do that." She was just thinking of all the nice things that Hoban's done for her as well, and she's like, "I can't do that to this guy." But then he does what he does, and she's like, "You know what? Fuck you. I should have done that." It's good stuff. Like, I want to see what happens next.
Because Bomi comes in with the fucking pathetic anime.
She's got that. And, it's just going to be one of those dumb things that gets written in this genre of, like, manhwas and mangas, right? It's like, it's the overreaction, but, like, it kind of has to be there to add the drama and just to delay this relationship from happening. And I'll just say, after reading a manga recently about that, like, that's just annoying for the most part. Like, just hurry up and do it. Like, I'm still enjoying some of the humor that happens when they go on dates together, but if it's going to be dumb drama like this, I don't want to see it. Adam, as he's not here for these episodes, but he's like, yo, fuck Bomi. And I'm like, God, don't tell me that, man. And it's looking like we're already at that point, so.
I'm Team Gale, bro. I'm sorry. I like the way that,
But yeah, just have nothing else to say. Just curious to see what's going to be happening with 244 and stuff. Well, we probably won't see that for at least maybe 2 more chapters, I think. Because as this chapter was all focused on this stuff right here. Which is fine, I think. It's good for a break. Right? Like, because we always said we missed those kind of in Lookism. So let's dive in, man, to this chapter of Lookism 358. We got a lot going on, man. We got this new crew, Anson Public. They're just trying to take over. They're whooping everybody. They took out the uncles. They took out Burn Knuckles. And as one tries to fight Johan, he's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to fight you. You can take it. Because he talked to the doctor and says, like, yeah, you're probably going to go blind, bro, if you don't get surgery.
He's feeling that.
Yeah, like, all that anger he's held with them all these years is kind of... He doesn't know where to put it now. Because it's literally out of his control. And he doesn't know who to be mad at. Yeah, so his arc's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And whenever he's going to come back. If he's a blind fighter, like you're saying, Oscar, earlier, I think that'd be
That's
interesting,
gonna be
too.
Awesome, bro. That would have been
dude,
awesome.
I'm telling you, he's only going to get more powerful. He's just going to go full Daredevil, bro.
Maybe if he unlocks Ultra Instinct, he doesn't need a C. Maybe that's something that's going to happen. It's going to be interesting with this Anson crew. I don't think we're going to see... I don't know if we're going to see Daniel fight them or not. Because he's got his own thing going on, right, with the second affiliates, as well as... He's talking to DG, which was a surprise for me. So I wonder what their role is going to be coming up. Because to me, it kind of feels like they're going to be fighting everybody else, right? Like, obviously, Vasco is going to show up. Eli's going to be there. Warren Che is going to be there, too. So I'm willing to bet, like, oh, this arc is for those guys. And then everything else is going to be with Daniel Park. Which I think that'd be cool. You don't have to change the pace.
I don't know if too much focus is going to be on them. There's going to be a lot of build-up. I think that this is probably... I don't even think that this arc is probably going to be done by the end of this year, honestly. This is leading up to, like, another one of those big gang wars, like the end of the Hostile War.
Yeah.
And we're just, like, putting all of our pieces in place. Like, especially, like, this whole thing with Jiho right now. Oh, my god.
Oh, it's a whole nother thing.
Bro, exactly. Like, I don't see this shit getting resolved or even touched on at least until, like, mid-December, beginning of January, maybe. Honestly. There's just way too many things in between now and then in order for, like, you know, like, there to be a big reveal that Jiho is James Lee, or where the real James Lee is at. Like, this is just gonna, like, be a perfect segue for this guy to just sneak in here, and we're, like, gonna get a look at him, maybe, or, like, you know, like, aware of his presence, and then, like, we're not gonna get any further than that, because he's able to just get away with not being able to claim who he actually is.
Yeah, I will say I wasn't expecting Jiho to be the one to say, like, yeah, I'm actually James Lee. And he's coming into this field, and he's going to be doing what, I guess what Jake wanted him to do, whatever that was about. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to come in. And I mean, I guess for sure, like, that stuff will come back around for Daniel to hop back in, right? I guess that's how it has to kind of go. The biggest surprise is at the end, of course, right, with DG. I wasn't expecting him to be coming this soon, but to also drop the bomb of, so what do you want to know, Daniel? What do you really want to know? I got two options for you. I either tell you who James Lee really is, or I tell you what the two bodies are all about and how that came to be. And it's like, whoa. That's a drop I wasn't expecting to hear, at least this soon.
So I'm actually thinking that he's not going to pick his initial decision, and that he's going to talk about the two bodies. And I really wonder if he's going to talk about Crystal. I think that might be... honestly, there are so many points where he could have brought Crystal back into the main plot. Like, we know that she's important, otherwise she wouldn't have the same fucking secret. But for some reason, he just decides to put her on the back burner. So, holding my breath for this, but I'm really hoping that if he chooses this first one, that he's going to mention Crystal at some point or another. Even if he doesn't mention her directly, just be like, you're not the only one with two bodies.
Yeah, if he picks that one, I think he'll say that too. It's like, you're not, there's more than just you with two bodies. I have a feeling that Daniel's going to pick, I think he's still going to, I don't know. It's, part of me says like, oh, he'll probably pick the James Lee thing, but.
There makes so many possibilities available. What if only Cho's 10 geniuses are actually the, capable of having the double bodies? James Lee is actually Daniel Park's body, right? And he just, like, for whatever reason, synced up with Daniel. And Daniel was able to take it, you know, like by mistake or some shit, right? Like, honestly, what that makes me think is, what if James Lee is actually Cho, or one of the other 10? And instead of being able to switch with somebody of the same age, he's like the only one that can switch with somebody who's a different age. So he can have a younger body and then be an old man.
I could say that with James Lee, yeah, but not with Choi taking over James Lee, because they were both present during those flashbacks, right?
We're just moving you around, you know, but your body just stays. Then it's like, what if James Lee just has the ability to just shift his consciousness around to other bodies? All
I gotta say about that is that's gonna be wild. If that's gonna be the final fight, it's just like a bunch of bodies and tanks that Choi just opens up, or you know, something like over the top like that. I could see something like that happening.
Tell me, what does that sound more like? Because that just sounds like, that just reminds me of like some weird ass Bleach shit with, like, you know, the King of Quincy's, or I don't know, man. It just sounds so preposterous, so ridiculous.
I mean, I will say, I think it does make sense. Choi's trying to get a new body, and maybe Crystal and Daniel are, you know, they're the first test subjects for it, because I'm guessing he wants to stay young as long as possible, and also he probably wants his arm back that he's missing. So that's where the other body would come in. So I could see that being a possibility, but I wonder how long that's gonna in the long run, what is that gonna come out to with this story?
I gotta tell you, even more so than when I know it didn't get released because it got corrupted, but I was explaining in the last recording how much this Jimmy guy just irritated the fuck out of me. Mm-hmm. Like, he just, everything about him is so fucking generic and cliche. I'm so tired of, like, the fucking super laid-back, happy, like, super sadistic guy. You know, like...
Yeah, me too.
Like, such a just terrible, stupid cliche, bro. And I'm just like, you're so whack, bro. Like, just get out of here already, or just get whacked so that way you can get serious. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's just going to be them for the most part until they lose to our cooler main characters that we're going to root for in the fight. That's kind of just their role. Their role is just to be that kind of character and really nothing else. Like, I don't really see them being a threat after this arc, right? If they even do end up fighting at some point, like, I don't see them winning any... Well, they'll probably win some matches, but at the end of the day, they're just going to go back home, and that might just be the end.
Not even that good, bro.
Not even that good. Well, yeah, and also, you know, in that lost episode we did, they mentioned in those chapters that there are a bunch of other crews outside of this section in Korea. So we're probably going to see those guys pop up too. So we can't be having these kind of characters stick around for too long. So they can't, at least now, like, these are just the characters to warm up the audience into the idea of other crews not involved with anything in the story to come in. So don't give it too much thought with their characters and their development and writing and all that, right? That's what I would imagine. And he's doing a good job because I don't care about these guys at all.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna like get their shit kicked out of them and then like leave.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the coolest thing about these guys is just the fact that Jiho just came up.
Yeah, because this whole time they were waiting for James Lee. That's the only reason why they're there. And so when they find out James Lee's not there, they're like, well, let's not bother with this, I guess.
As far as they're aware, you know, they're probably going to test his ass right now. And they know that James Lee is an older fella, and Jiho obviously looks younger than all of them. So you know he's going to get tested. I just wanted to see if Jiho's going to rock it to that Jimmy guy or not, because if anybody can lose an eye or some teeth, it's that Jimmy guy. Mm-hmm. And Jiho's a savage, straight savage, bro.
And even with that line he tells his officer, right? He's like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I stay there?
I like how they brought back a few characters from like the beginnings, like that one guy.
Oh, who, Darius?
The Boy Lovers Club, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I really hope it's called that because I hope it's.
Yeah,
sounds bad.
the guy he was rooting for Jiho, right?
Yeah.
At the end, yeah, he hopped on the car.
Oh, is that who that was? That looks so familiar to me.
Yeah, bro, that's the guy who wanted to touch boys.
Well, all right, guys. I think with that, we could go ahead and wrap up for this episode. And so while we wait for the next episode and chapters to come out, man, you could follow us at Unverse Podcast. Anywhere on social media, we'll let you know when the episodes drop. And then you can send an email to unversepodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments. And we'll be sure to bring those up on the next episode. Right on. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.